And he's going to be eager to destroy it.
Yeah. But at the moment, he's only got the lone reinforcement of the army. So, I mean, if you can destroy it cheaply, then you go for it. But if you can destroy it expensively, then maybe you don't. I think he's just verifying how many summons he's done, but he's already...
No, he asked about the cards in hand.
Oh, okay.
Because he's way above 3, meaning 4.
Oh, yeah. Way above. So he's foregoing the mermaid here by using one of his Orcus monsters.
And I mean, he is going to expect an Nibiru now. He must be.
Yeah. I mean, Nibiru is not... Do you think you decided going first with your Salamangreat deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
You want to set up your Salamangreat mod. I mean, you can tribute them. It's not awful, but it turns off your Rage and Roar.
I mean, your opponent is going to... especially in SPYRAL, he's going to out your board at some point.
That's true.
And then you can still drop the Nibiru.
It's definitely something to think about, yeah. He revealed the Jackalope and has discarded the Jackalope. He's activated an Orcus monster, and even though its effect was negated, you're still under the restriction, I believe. If we just have one of the Orcus Harp, have a look at the Orcus Harp Horror to confirm that. So you can banish this. Oh no, that's not true. So it's part of the effect that you cannot special summon non-darks. So he might know that, he might not. That you are still allowed, because the effect was negated, to special summon any type of monster. And he does know, because he's summoning the mermaid.
And now he summons the Ibli as he already has it in his graveyard, the Orcus Nightmare. He discarded it, I think, for a Tsushinoko summon. So, what do you think is going to happen next? I mean, we can see a big bunch of monsters. We can see Oliver just hoping that 18 Girso is going to get rid of his own anti-spell fragrance.
And Kevin here, he knows he's got one more special summon, and he's going to see the Nibiru now, or he's not, because otherwise he's going to give over...
Wait. Oh, yeah, he can.
Give over the Ibli, right?
Yeah.
Curious has to go... I think Curious is... No. This effect of Curious is not mandatory. It has its second effect is mandatory. After something's been sent, you have to send, so... Maybe they just need to check the order of the chains.
I just thought that maybe he was... I had it in my mind that he was locked into darkness monsters, but we just figured out he wasn't.
The judges are just confirming that now, I think. I mean, from the reading of the card, it seems to me that it's part of the effect, and I think that's been confirmed.
Ash Blossom negates an effect that includes summoning or searching or basically anything from the deck.
But it's interesting, it's whether it's part of the effect or like the condition. So if you activate Pot of Duality, for example, I'm sure everyone knows if you Ash Pot of Duality, then you still cannot special summon.
Yeah.
Interesting that the judges called it up on the Curious and not the Mermaid. They're like, you can do one summon, but whether you can do two, that's a bit suspicious, you know.
So, Skeleton is sent to the grave.
I'm not sure how much that benefits him, because...
Does he run the...
He's already got all of the dark machines that he might need in his graveyard, so I don't know what he gets out of the...
Oh, he just milled the Crescendo, and this is something that he does not like to see. I'm
Definitely
pretty sure.
Not. Yeah. So, I mean, it looked like Kevin had a lot going for him, but now that his Orcus combo, like, he's got quite a lot of redundancy here, because he's running a very light Orcus package.
Yeah.
Just Nightmare, Horror, and Skeleton. And it looked like he had a lot of combo pieces, but a lot of them are doing the same kind of thing. Having used the Curious to send when he already had... Oh my goodness.
And the next
Skeleton's been negated.
So now he can actually crush the Curious into the Phantasme and then add a card back, right?
Yep.
Both are... No. He has more attack points.
Oh, he has more attack. Aha, because it's co-linked.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
But he cannot actually destroy the Ibli.
Yep, that's... Oh, wait, no, Mermaid is co-linked as well.
Oh, yeah, Mermaid is co-linked too. Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, there are only two cards.
Yeah. Okay, so now he's debating it. I think you destroy it, right? Because only being able to link summon is not really
instant
a problem.
Bailings.
Yeah. Because it's a Cyburst monster.
People actually for some time considered playing Ibli and Salamangreat as a starter. So, what did he draw?
It was a monster.
It was... That looked like a scrap recycler to me, and I doubt that.
It does seem unlikely. Scrap recycler. So now we're seeing the nasty side of anti-spell.
Oh, Foxy. Okay.
Foxy, pretty good draw.
Yep. Can he find something to excavate?
Well, no.
He's not allowed to. And I think that Kevin shouldn't be able to access any card of his engine anymore, right? Of his Orcus engine. Because he should be out of everything. He plays one Nightmare, one Horror, one Skeleton. Skeleton and Horror are out. So Nightmare is just laying there in his graveyard. There's no way to summon Galatea unless he draws into a Monster Reborn, sets it, and waits a turn.
Or he could bump Curious at some point.
Yeah, into something, yeah. And then he would have to tribute summon the Nightmare.
Is Harp Horror in the grip?
No, it's banished.
Okay. Okay, that's a pretty long-winded way of getting to it. He thinks he's got a Dark Machine left, though.
I mean, a Dark Machine, that could be...
Oh, the Spiral monsters are Dark Machines. Look at the synergy. Can it add a banished monster?
Yeah, it can.
Oh, well, that's
I kind of forgot about that.
Pretty heads-up play there from Kevin, knowing that he can add a banished Dark Machine. That's going to open up quite a lot of options. And I don't think he's going to be very afraid of that face down.
Nope. I mean, it's probably a spell card.
I mean, it could be a spell, but it could be what are the traps in Spiral? I mean, in Oliver's deck in particular, there's only Salamangreat cards, which really...
Yeah. And only Roar would hurt him, really. Like, Rage would, of course, pop a card, but it would leave Oliver at nothing.
Yeah, and Roar is equally fairly pathetic in this situation. I mean, it negates one card, which is a pretty powerful effect, but when your opponent's got 4 more cards than you, then trading one of yours for one of theirs is not going to do very much.
That's true. So, how does he progress? He added the quick fix mill. It's actually not too bad of a card to have in your graveyard.
Pretty solid, but he's not got any way of bringing it back until he can get a Spiral Super Agent on the board. So Curious, I don't think I've ever seen that happen, to be honest. Curious sticking around for a whole turn and being able to use its milling effect twice.
Using it as a beat stick. And I mean, he kind of has to get rid of it at some point. Oh, can he go for Griffin now? Does he go for Griffin? Set back the impermanence, maybe?
I think more so he wants to, just discard cards, draw cards. But yeah, getting a... What's he going to get?
He could get the impermanence. What a grind game, Spiral versus Salamangreat.
Who would have called it?
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't set the Sanctuary. I mean, it is a discard for Cyanide Mining in the next turn. But
yes.
Oh, he drew into the Cyclone.
Yeah, the Cyclone pretty useless, but I think he's still way, way ahead in terms of resources. He's now got the Skeleton back. He can banish the Skeleton. I think he's calculating if it's possible to end the game on this turn. Not sure that it is, but worth thinking about.
Yeah.
So he can make a Dingirsu.
Is there a point in attaching something? I don't think so.
Well, then you get the Skeleton for next turn, if necessary.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see him use the effect Descend just to threaten that face down, and then again it could easily be, I'm sure a card on your mind is the Salamangreat Circle or Cyanide Mining, and hitting one of those is pretty mean if you do, and it is indeed the Cyanide Mining, but he's got the option.
I mean, if there was a Rage or a Roar, I think it would have been activated by now.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Cyanide Mining is gone.
It's nice from Kevin. Like, you can just delete as much of your opponent's cards as possible, just so there's no chance.
And now his own Effect Veiler of Oliver Popinski really hurts him. The Effect Veiler that he threw on Nightmare Phoenix to prevent his own anti-spell fragrance from being destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we could hark back to. I was surprised that he did it, because again, he could save the Effect Veiler for far more important stuff. Anti-spell fragrance being that double-edged sword. But I suppose when your opponent throws a card at anti-spell, then you think, maybe he wants to activate spells. A powerful spell to activate.
And now he's still got the Skeleton ready. He recycled it with Galatea, and he had the Nightmare in the graveyard, so...
And that's more than enough
That's
for
the
Oliver.
handshake. Wow, the roar coming from the top. Not being the card he wanted to have. We're coming back for
Kevin
the...
looked really nervous. He was so happy to see that game come in.
Hi.
So you've really got a feel for Oliver there. He really didn't have much of a chance to
Like in both games, again,
do anything.
Salamangreat
Salamangreat monsters
in this tournament.
I mean, he must be doing something right because we're seeing it at the top tables and we're seeing it in the feature matches. It's just had a bit of a curse going on in the feature matches where they've just drawn none of their powerful engine cards.
Indeed. If you're a Salamangreat player and you're getting carried basically to this featured match area.
Just pile shuffle your deck very well.
All the time. Try to break the curse. What do you think of this crazy SPYRAL Orcus deck? It does a bit less than I expected because I was thinking of extra linking your opponent with a Trigate because that's what I used to think of SPYRAL.
That's what you want, is it?
Yeah, I want to see that.
You extra link, you summon the sleeper.
Yeah. We didn't see any of that. We didn't see a sleeper. Does he play sleeper? I mean,
yes.
It would be really weird if he didn't, as we also saw last resort, but just checking.
Yeah. I mean, it did enough. It more relied on the grind of the Orcus in that game, but I mean, it's pretty powerful that you can just... The only main deck Orcus cards he's running are those three, Nightmare, Horror, Skeleton, and I suppose one Orcus Crescendo.
Yeah.
And that was enough to set him up with this entire game almost. It did everything.
I mean, to be fair, there wasn't that much that he had to do.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot to overcome his opponent's monsters, but he was obviously being interrupted a lot. So there was
true.
You know, there was Bell, Ash, Veiler, and Phantasmate.
And he still did a really good job of staying in the game.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready? Not quite yet.
So, we have talked about anti-spell fragrance in the side deck already. What do you think of this card right now?
I mean, we saw it being a little double-edged sword there, right? It has that thing of if you're not set up, then it hurts you just as much as it hurts your opponent. Overall, I think it's a card that you should always have your eye on because it's an immensely powerful effect. Because if you've set up a powerful board, we've seen a lot of games that are decided in very few turns, so like 2 or 3 turns. So effectively, anti-spell fragrance is almost like a, Imperial Order in that sense. You know, your opponent just can't. It's almost better for Imperial Order if you've already got something like Orcus Babel up.
Yeah.
So it's always a card you should have your eye on, and then it really depends on what you're expecting to face. You know, it's always gone in and out. If you're expecting Pendulum decks, for example, anti-spell fragrance, insane, even better than Imperial Order. They're not even allowed to activate the cards.
That hurt me a lot. I played Pendulum for a long time, and I hated that card.
Yeah, it's one of my... I mean, honestly, it's a card that I would say is powerful enough to be considered for the Forbidden Limited list in the future.
Very much indeed.
But in this format, it's still like it's so wide. I'm a bit.
There aren't too many
up
spells
and down
in most of the decks.
as to whether it's going to be that blowout against everything.
Yeah, but maybe he just really wanted to prepare for Pendulum, and I think just by now we have the confirmation that the interview can start. So why don't we just hand it over to JJ?
All right, we're here with the winner of the 10th round at YCS Ghent. Kevin, how are you feeling, man? That was a pretty convincing win you had there.
Yeah, my opponent bricked maybe both games pretty hard, so it was not that hard, but I feel good. So.
Okay, so you feel good about the matchup. Like we saw in the match that you played anti-spell, but you just kind of told me just now, you don't really play that much spells. You don't even play Babel because you think it's a brick. Why is it so?
So usually I set up like Appaloosa with two up to 4 negates, both Orcus, so Galatea, Countertrap, Dingeso, and Sleeper. And then I don't need Babel because I don't profit from it. If I draw it, it's dead, so yeah, no use.
Okay, so it feels a bit double, more or less. You just don't need the extra 2 to 3 cards to invest to get the 1 negate out. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, like, few people have been telling me that you've been playing this deck a pretty long time. How long have you been playing this?
I played it since last July, around this time. But then, after the last September banners, I paused a bit till February. Then I got the dangers, and then I played it again, and yeah, it was pretty good. So I played it at nationals in Germany for regionals and Euros. Didn't rank well at day 2, but well.
Okay, but at least you're having fun with the deck, you enjoy playing, and as long as you have that, I think you could probably make good. I mean, you know, you're 10-1. You're 10 wins or 9 wins. 8-1-1. So there was the so you were 8-1-1 going into this, or were you 9-1-1? It's 10. So you say 8-1-1 in a moment. So I'd like to thank him for stopping on by. Do you have any last things you probably want to say? Anything, if your native language, do you probably want to tell to the people at home?
Of course, I want to greet all my friends at home, like Carl, all the friends here, Eike, my team Brick Boys, our sponsor Imperium, Duelist, and all my locals at Angler Dortmund, the locals at Gelsenkirchen, Hero Stash, and every other one I don't name now.
Okay, so that's a shout out to you back home. And now there's still more coverage of YCS Ghent after this.